Hey, what is up, you guys? My name is Brandasauresrex, and today we are going to be reviewing the MonsterArts King Ghidorah Special Colored version. So let's get into it. I'm super excited about this figure, so I decided to pre-pose it and get it all ready for you guys. I'm so pumped up right now. I'm so excited. I got this thing pre-posed for you guys and just so ready. So yes, I just want you to guys check this out and display I got going on. Yeah, so I thought this was pretty cool. Yeah, let's get into it. So before we get to check out the figure and the accessories that it comes with, let's check out the box. So this figure being based on the poster version of King Ghidorah, the beam effects are slightly different from the traditional King Ghidorah, where typically his gravity beams are all yellow and very bright. These are all three different colors. As you can see, one is gold, one is this burgundy orange. I know that's a weird color to say, burgundy and orange, but it's not orange and it's not burgundy. It's a weird. You see it there, it's a weird color. And then we have this really vibrant blue. So it's very weird and very different. I'm not particularly a big fan of it. I actually prefer this. As you can see, it's actually a very different color from the new one. This is the original one. I prefer these. And when it comes down to using the beam effects, I probably won't be using these. I probably will be using the gold effects that come with King Ghidorah, the original. And just to let everyone know, this figure does come with the same exact stands, the very frustrating stands that come with the original King Ghidorah, that you're supposed to like put these on. I don't exactly remember how you're supposed to put these on too. This was, I remember, very frustrating for a lot of collectors, and you're supposed to like manage to balance these and get this in King Ghidorah's mouth and also manage to balance it. I hate these things so much. I've tried to get this to look really cool on display in my shelf, and it led to a lot of cursing, screaming, and falling. So as you can see, they barely hold the thing, the beam effects in very well. I don't know why they didn't do in the way with the wings and try to fix this. This is a terrible design. I hate this so much. So freaking frustrating. I wish they would have just done away with it and gave us something else. Maybe some form of clamps or something like that. I hate this thing so much. And just for argument's sake, in 10 minutes that I'll never get my life back, because I know somebody in the comments will say, well, you know what, maybe it's just that you just don't know how to do it. I do know how to do it. It's just a pain in the ass to freaking do, and it takes too goddamn long just to get it to do this, when I could do something that looks a lot cooler in a goddamn display. Oh my god. This is too aggravatingly painful to do, to get it just to do this, and it doesn't even look that great. To be honest with you, this is oddly frustrating. It's too frustrating just to get it to do this, and it's not even all positioned right. So here is another one of the accessories that comes with King Ghidorah. This is another one of the time machines that is in the movie. There are actually two time machines that are in the movie. This is the one that goes back in time to actually snag the Godzillasaurus from the timeline when he saves the soldiers from being attacked by the US soldiers. That is the weirdest sentence I have ever said in my life. Watching the movie is one of the coolest things ever, but saying that out loud, Now I know why people think I'm weird. So yeah, so this is that time machine. There's another time machine in the movie, but it looks more like a UFO style thing. If I can, I will throw up a picture right now, and you guys will be able to see it now. It looks more like this. I was hoping and wishing, because I don't think we're gonna get another King Ghidorah for the High Side series, so why didn't we just get one of these? We should have just got one. It would have been perfect for this, just to wrap up this whole series. We got the Dorats, we got Make a King Ghidorah, we have this one. This would have just been the be all end all, and it would have been the perfect accessory set, because we don't really need a flight stand for this thing, because the flight stand is cool, but we don't need it. But yeah, so speaking of the flight stand, let's move on to the flight stand. So for the last accessory here, we have the flight stand, and I have it kicked up like this just so I can show you something real fast, and that is the Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah logo. Pretty neat, pretty cool, and it just has it again in English down here with some copyright logos. Pretty cool. The bottom is essentially just hollowed out. Pretty cool, and I like the way the head actually is for King Ghidorah. It's separated for the 3 necks. And also it has spaces for the tails. And you could adjust this in any kind of fashion, but it is very, very loud. And that is because there's ratchets all over this thing. And I do suggest reading the instructions on how to put this together, because it needs some assembly to put this together. So I'm going to grab King Ghidorah, and then I'm going to readjust my camera and all my settings, and then I'm going to put him on the flight stand so you guys can see exactly how he snugs up on it. So here we go. I have everything pretty much stable. I'm just going to give the table a quick shake for you guys to show you that it's not falling. The flight stand works perfectly. If you have it adjusted perfectly, and you can actually tighten it up even more, if you have a screwdriver, a very small one, there's a few screws just to make this even tighter. The only thing I will add to this is that this is very, very noticeable. What I would do is this, just to show you guys. If you're like me and you are an a.c.b.a artist, or a self-proclaimed a.c.b.a artist, you will know that we do not like to show stands, and you want things to look as realistic as possible, and you basically want to create the look of a quote-unquote comic book. You want it to make it look like a comic book or a scene within a movie. You don't want wires, you don't want flight stands. So this right here is not gonna fly. If I could hide this in any sort of way, maybe by putting a character in front of it or something like that, that would make it better. But this whole thing right here is just not gonna work. I know you can't see it too well because it's laced in shadows, but in my eyes right now, there's a giant hunk of plastic right here. You can hear me tapping, and then there's this right here, which is holding it up, which doesn't look good. And you can't see the bottom of it because of how dark my display is, because I made it darker purposely because of how dark this is, just to show you how tangible I can make things with dark lighting. But this just doesn't work for a.c.b.a, and basically rendering this flight stand very useless for me. But for you guys who don't do a.c.b.a, and you guys who just collect this stuff and just put it on shelves and things like that, this is going to be great for you guys. I think it's really cool because it's actually going to hold King Ghidorah, and it's molded to hold King Ghidorah. The grooves in here are actually made to hold his chest, to hold his tail up in up position. The actual cradle ends here, and then ends here as well. I'm trying to give you as much information as possible, and it actually ends right here as well. This is actually the whole cradle. You just can't see it as well because of my very dark lighting again. It's just a really great cradle to hold King Ghidorah and keep him stable in this high position, because he is pretty much 6 inches off the ground, which is very scary for a figure this size. So now what I'm going to do for you guys is, since I have the old King Ghidorah and I have this new King Ghidorah, I'm just going to have both of them spin on my rotator, for 2 turns and just show you guys the difference between the new one and the old one. So right now I'm going to have the new one, which is this one right here, take 2 turns, and then I'm going to have the old one take 2 turns so you guys can see the difference in what I'm talking about and when I say the new one has better paint apps than the older one. Okay, so quickly, I just want to go over something that I just noticed, that there is no paint shading on this figure. Don't know exactly why. It's just really just vibrant gold. It's just really gold. But it's beautiful. I love it. I love all the attention to detail that they went into this. It's pretty much the exact same mold as the original King Ghidorah. It's just a repaint, which I'm fine with. There's nothing wrong with repainting this figure because the original figure is so freaking expensive. I think it's on the verge of hitting $400 at this point. So if you're really that desperate for King Ghidorah, just get this one. There's no point of getting the other one at this point. It's not even worth it. With possibly just getting a damaged figure, you could just get this one. And I know everybody's nail biting, just waiting for somebody to tell them if the wings are going to come damaged. No, the wings are not damaged. So quickly going over articulation, because articulation is fairly simple on this guy. I'm just going to use the base head as the examples. There are ball joints all across here, so you can get this in a lot of different poses. Very smooth movements. He can look down very far actually. This one can look very far down actually. The joints on here are very tight compared to other King Ghidorahs where the necks were just falling off. Just to show you on all of the heads, he can look down very far. I've only had one head fall off, and it's this one, so I'm trying to be a bit careful. I'm in a weird position right now. Out of breath. Yeah, this one's a little loose on me. As you just saw, it doesn't want to stay up. Might have to use some oh, also the jaws are articulated. You should already know this stuff, guys. It's a fairly old mold. It's like literally their second figure. The ab crunch is there, very limited though. Not really much to talk about there. Here, the legs. You got the kick out and then down. It's not really much, but it's there. That's all you get. Knees, shin, and foot. Swinging around to the back. We have the tail. All of the tail. The tail is tight, really tight and great. Really strong. It's not like the Mecha King Ghidorah where it's falling apart on me, which is great. And then wings again, grab from the base up. Make sure you're clearing again. Mine is getting stuck right here, and I think this is another reason why people were breaking it, because they were trying to force it and they were pulling here. So try not to pull here. Make sure you have the clearing as well. So yeah, there you go for articulation. Really simple, really sweet. It gets the job done. One thing I would have liked is the ab crunch actually worked on this figure, because the ab crunch actually works on the original. That's one thing that the original has over this figure. The ab crunch actually works, but in this one you can actually get into a decent flying pose. You can get them sprawled straight out, which that one you can't. You can't get the legs to actually move. So a lot of people are going to ask me, and I'm going to get this question 1,000 times over, which one do I prefer? Do I prefer the original release of the King Ghidorah, or do I prefer the special colors? And I gotta say it, the special colors has won me over. After 5 minutes of simply messing around with the wings and getting this thing into the flight stand and getting it into simple poses that I was so scared to get the original into, I gotta say it, this figure won me over 5 times over. by just simply just existing. The colors are better, the paint job is better. Everything about this figure screams an actual figure comparing to the original release. The original release feels like a statue, and it feels like I can't play with it. I feel like I cannot pose it. I feel like I can't touch it. The only thing I wish is that this King Ghidorah was in the actual colors of the movie. But I do love this figure, and I highly recommend this figure to anybody who can drop the, I believe it's $140 to $50 for this figure. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember what I spent on it because I pre-ordered this figure a long time ago. So with that being said, guys, MGK was just announced. It just dropped. I just saw the photos. As soon as like immediately as I brought this home, MGK was just announced and all that stuff. And some big things are happening right now. I was just asked to do some really cool things by a website. I can't talk about it. I was asked not to talk about it, but I will let you guys know when those things are happening. So follow me on social media to know when those things are happening. So that being said, guys, follow me on social media, and I'll check you guys out next time. So peace out.
That's crispy.